Oh yeah, it's murder time. I mean, it's always murder time. Oh, we can't, Michael.
There we go.
You know what time the show starts?
Just give it a sec. Yeah.
Oh man, I was telling the people before, while you were incommunicado, that it's murder time. But then I was going to correct myself and say, well, it's actually always murder time when it comes to the state.
Mm-hmm.
When is the state
Agreed.
not murdering people? Every minute of every day.
That's like, I know there's Anatomy of the State where Murray Rothbard argues that the state is a murder machine that exists and is perpetuated through a propaganda machine and a narrative controlling machine and an expert class, but the expert class exists to propagate the murder. And
the state is the legitimate monopoly on violence, meaning it's the monopoly on violence that is conferred by the general population, meaning it's generally accepted or allowed or granted that power by the population. So it's our fault. It's the people's fault. But the state, and in this case, the largest, most deadliest state in the history of the world, just murdered 11 people in a little boat in the middle of the ocean. Mm-hmm. And all we know about who these people were or what they were doing is what Donald Trump has told us. It's awesome. So the video, I assume everyone has seen the video of the boat. It looks like is a infrared video taken from a plane. So it's, it's one of these like war porn type bombing videos. A boat, which, could be a fishing boat, or it could be like a drug smuggling speedboat, but it looked to be about 20 feet long, maybe at most. I don't even know if it was that long, but something like that. And the thing that was amazing to me, so Trump says, of course, and they blew it out of the water, a missile from a fucking, actually, was it from a ship or from an airplane? It must have been from a plane. Right? Was it a plane?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I assume it was from the warships that they deployed to the Venezuelan coast. I assume it was one of those, but
I don't know
it was
if
drone footage. It was drone footage, so it had to be a drone of some sort. Like it was aerial footage. Yeah, it had to be like that. Drone.
That's how brave we are. We can't even shoot little drug smugglers out of the water without, risking our own guys. Yeah, so so Trump is saying that it was a drug smuggling boat, B, it was taking lots and lots of drugs that will kill Americans to America. It was on the way to America to deliver these drugs, which will kill untold numbers of Americans. C, it was the guys in the boat, the 11 guys who were blown to smithereens, were all Tren de Aragua, of course, members. And D, this was all being directed by Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela. To which Fox News said, I was watching the report on this, the sharks got a free lunch. And they spent 20 minutes celebrating this and calling for more of this and making fun of those of us who care about things like due process. And they want more killing, extrajudicial killing of drug dealers or people we think are drug dealers, or at least the people Donald Trump tells us are drug dealers. This is bananas. I mean, he just killed 11 people. And the only evidence we have of anything about who they were, what they're doing, is simply what he has told us, which is not evidence at all. Because if you look at that video, exactly how much drugs are in there, I see maybe 2 possible sacks of something and 11 people. I mean, but even if it were packed to the rim with drugs, I want those drugs. And I'm not alone. That's why they come. Well, that's why they bring drugs to this country, is because we want them. We want them, and some of us need them. Do we even know what drugs were in that boat? We sure it was all drugs designed to kill children, no doubt. I recently rediscovered cocaine and I need more of that. And so if it was cocaine, which is highly likely, again, I'm offended. But again, drugs should not be illegal. That is the kind of the top line, always should be the top line when talking about stories like this. Drugs should not be illegal. You can legalize drugs or you can shoot people in the water and kill them. You can legalize drugs or you can have 1 million people in prison on drug-related charges, which is what we have now. You can legalize drugs or you can continue to have drug users pay exorbitant, inflated prices because it is on the black market. We can legalize drugs or we can continue to have the worst elements in our society, the most violent criminals in the world, dominate that market because it is a black market, because it is illegal. You know, or we could just do what Portugal did and parts of Northern Europe, which is basically legalize drugs. And what has happened to Portugal? Guess what? It's become one of the top destinations for American expatriates to live in. I just don't like it, man. When the government kills 11 people and then says, oh, we did it because we had to, because they're bad guys and we have nothing to. And by the way, I love this. There will never be any evidence. Guess why? Because it's all at the bottom of the ocean. And the worst part, again, is these MAGA, and I guess now Fox is MAGA all of a sudden. I don't know. They just love Trump killing people who he tells us were bad guys. I mean, talk about authoritarian. That's some dictator level shit where the guy just offs 11 people and tells the people, oh, yeah, they were bad. I had to kill them. And then the media cheers and says, yes, more of that, sir. Please don't give us any evidence for why you killed these people. And again, I sort of hope in some dark way that someday a president of the United States will kill Jesse Waters of Fox News, who was just couldn't get enough of this today. Couldn't get enough of this. And he'll be like, and the people around will be like, how on earth did the government do this? How could they kill poor Jesse Waters with a drone strike on his house? And I will say, how? You're the ones who made that possible. You're the ones who made that possible. Because you know what? Like, communists could take over the government. In fact, Jesse Waters has been telling us this, and all the Fox News people have been telling us this for years. It's true, though. We could absolutely have a communist dictatorship as a government that will want to kill people who work for Fox News. They'll claim they're enemies of the state, and they'll send a drone strike to Jesse Waters' house. And when that happens, I'll say, like, you know, it's too late now. This is the world we live in because of people like you. It is wild, man. And the Trump movement, the MAGA movement, see ya. I mean, this is just disgusting shit, dude. I mean, I don't even know. This is like the stuff that they're doing to Latin Americans for absolutely no good reason. Both the immigrants, which we've talked about here, and now this, it's clearly sadistic. I think a lot of it's coming from Marco Rubio, who has kind of been sidelined in diplomacy because Steve Witkoff keeps getting sent everywhere, and the Secretary of State doesn't get sent usually to Israel or Ukraine. So I think Marco is flexing a bit, you know, son of Cuban immigrants, famously right-wing and hawkish and imperialist, etc., who's been banging the drum about regime change in Cuba and Venezuela and Bolivia for decades, for as long as Marco Rubio's been in office. So, and I've heard, I think Axios reported that this was Marco Rubio's thing, this strike on this boat. Yes, and then also we have simultaneously, and this is far worse, Trump is promising, and Rubio is promising, and Hegseth is promising, this is just the beginning of the war against Venezuela now. So yes, they've sent 6 warships, 3 destroyers, and 1 cruiser. Those 4 warships each hold 90 to 100 cruise missiles. Each missile can carry 1,000 pounds of conventional ammunition, warhead. And so that means that So do the math, 4 times. So about 400 cruise missiles are now aimed off the coast of Venezuela into Venezuela. There are also 4,000 sailors and Marines. I don't know exactly the contingent of Marines, the size of it, but there are Marines on those ships, but it's 4,000 U.S. personnel on those ships as well. Either they're about to arrive there or they are now currently off the coast of Venezuela. Now, this shit is just nuts. This is like Woodrow Wilson level imperialism from the 1920s, 1910s and 1920s, when we first started to invade Latin America. And Michael's gone, so I'll just riff. See, I get lost without my man here. But yes, the so-called small wars in Latin America began in earnest in the 1910s. Nicaragua was a constant target. The Marines landed in Nicaragua something like half a dozen times in a decade, which gave rise to one of the original anti-American imperialist movements, which eventually became the Sandinista movement. But the U.S. was sending the Marines up and down the coast of Central America and northern South America for decades there. Smedley Butler, for those of you who want to read about this or might have heard about this, Smedley Butler wrote it's a book, sort of a pamphlet, War is a Racket. Smedley Butler was a Marine commander who actually led many of those invasions into Central America, especially Nicaragua. Spent a lot of his life fighting brown people south of the border. And he came to believe that war is actually a racket because he found out that particular American corporations like United Fruit and others who were invested heavily and had real estate heavily in Latin America were partly calling for this. Although Smedley's wrong, this was all ideological. And I think it remains ideological. So that I was talking about the reasons why perhaps Trump would do this. And it's sort of a head scratcher. Trump is such an idiot. And so he's not part of the foreign policy establishment. He doesn't have the same motivations, right? So it's hard to figure out what's driving him. Every foreign policy leader before this, you kind of knew because it was written from the beginning, as I've said, in American history. I mean, the founding fathers and every president and senator since then has said we must have a global American empire. It is our duty to uplift the people of the world, to be the world savior, and therefore we have to invade here, there, and everywhere. And that's always been the first justification. The economic benefits of those invasions has been secondary. The economic benefits of those invasions, those conquests, those colonizations, have only fueled and aided and served as a vehicle for the ideological ambition, which is to create the greatest empire in world history. This has been the stated objective and fantasy and dream of every American president since John Adams and Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, all of whom spoke in those terms. So now Trump, though, I don't know. He loves America, the idea, the fantasy of America as the boss, but I don't think that means America as the colonial power. He doesn't seem too interested in like holding permanent colonies abroad. I think in part because he might not love the types of people in those colonies, meaning he could be some old school anti-imperialist racism. He's
the nicest guy to minorities that we've ever had. He loves minorities because
he loves his taco bowls. I know,
dude.
Taco bowls are good.
Trump, yeah, he has a real soft spot for minorities, which is
when they're good waiters. Yeah, the Alejandro, the waiter at the Mar-a-Lago golf club. Mm-hmm. He's the reason he likes Mexicans.
Well. Mm-hmm. So I think this isn't imperialism. I think this is a contraction of the empire.
Shit. Here comes wine.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is interesting because Tom Luongo, we've been talking about him forever, and I was looking at him the past couple of weeks, wanting to see what he said about Venezuela. And I saw his old tweets, and he's like, his old tweets about what the Trump administration was doing in its first term about Venezuela. He hated it. He, imperialism, yada, yada, yada. And then I saw him today, and he said he reposted what Peter St. Onge, another Austrian economist, said, that the U.S. military is now literally blowing up drug smugglers, praise hands. So instead of using the military to protect or invade random countries, it's actually protecting the American people, securing the border, deporting illegals, fighting crime in cities, and blowing up traffickers.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
Peter St. Onge is not a libertarian.
Well,
Peter St. Onge is a fascist. I mean, that's fascism. It's somewhere between authoritarian and fascist. But to take the word of the head of state when he murders people like that.
Yeah, but we've never had somebody as honest as Trump before. Like, I trust this coming from Trump. Like, at this point, like, he's been ahead of everything. He's
like how Abrego Garcia had MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles. You mean like then? And
Trump absolutely,
and said, "Look, see MS," and we're like, "No, that's photoshopped by your staff." And he was like, "No, it's definitely there." That you mean then? Are you serious? Dude? I mean,
literally, seriously. No, I literally think, I think. Man, the Garcia stuff has come out so much. Like, he's been deported and brought back and proven in court so many times.
Nothing's been nothing. No,
Oh
nothing.
my God.
He gave a ride to 4 workers. That's what he was doing. Trafficking. He was trafficking. Like, he forced those people into the car to drive them across the state. They were obviously getting a ride to go to a job. Come on. This is insane.
The more you look at him, the more you look into that case, the more you realize person shouldn't be in this. The more you realize that person shouldn't be in this country.
Tell me. I want him here. Tell me I have not seen one single thing.
The wife beating.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, if we're going to deport wife beaters,
the fact that he's a citizen of El Salvador. He's citizen of
Wait, what? Yeah, we know he was a citizen of El Salvador. So what?
So not the United States.
Your family was citizens of Hanover or whatever the fuck. I mean, whatever. Like, what does that mean?
We came over legally 100 years ago.
Oh, you know that. you got your family got all the paperwork done. Sure.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah. They didn't cheat at all coming through Ellis Island.
And it was 100 years ago, and it was like actually it wasn't illicit migration. It was
my people cheated their way through. I don't even know, but I hope so. Mm-hmm. The Jews, I'm sure, cheated on the way through. Wait a minute now.
But this is a contraction of the empire.
Yeah. Wait, okay. How is that a contraction of the empire?
We're not. It's this hemisphere's sphere of influence and for interests that directly affect Americans. So people hear drug traffickers, they think fentanyl. They think 50,000 people last year died of fentanyl. Everybody knows an overdose victim at some point. And this is when they see that boat get blown up, it's cathartic for a lot of people. I saw a lot of cathartic posts.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of posts saying, here's my friend who died of a fentanyl overdose. I'm so happy this happened. Now, spiritually, I'm not into that. That's not good. But,
But what?
But
it's not good. It's not good. It's just not good. It doesn't matter how sympathetic that person is.
It's better than the alter. It's better.
No,
it's
not
a step in the right direction.
No, it's not. It's a step in the wrong direction. No. Come on, bro. Like, wait a second.
It's the United States government. And again, like, you love cocaine. So imagine if you could trust the cocaine on the market because the fent stopped pouring in from China through Venezuela.
No, I could trust cocaine if it were legal. And you could buy it in a store, like marijuana now. Like, that's safe. See, when it's a white market, right? I could make a racial joke about that, but I won't. Hello, you're being a contrarian, right?
No.
Wow.
I'm like I kind of have no patience for crime anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, I just and the thing is, this sends a chilling effect. I mean, this is like obviously a show of strength, and
wait a second.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no patience for violent crime.
Mm-hmm.
I want violent criminals put in prison for a long time. Like
Mm-hmm.
all of them, with no exception.
Yeah.
What did these guys do?
What
do these guys do? Wait, you actually think? Wait, you're just going to take Trump's word for it on this?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's been proven right on so many things. Like
he has? Like what?
Yeah, he's kind of got the mandate of heaven at this point. Like,
okay. You can't possibly mean this, Michael Weimer.
Oh, he said
you take the word of the president when he kills people?
I don't take the word of the president. I take the word of Donald Trump.
Oh, I see. You take the word of Donald Trump when he kills people?
Yes.
11 people with zero evidence to show. None. Nada. Nothing. Nothing. That's fine with you? You will trust him. You understand that straight Mussolini level cult of personality stuff, right?
I mean, okay. Do you think? I mean, it's just here's the thing. Like, what are the odds that it was a random fishing boat, as you purport it could possibly be?
What are the odds? Knowing the Trump administration, outstanding. Did you see sacks of drugs piled up in that boat? I saw almost nothing.
Here's the thing.
The boat was empty. The boat.
It's a video, so it could literally. I mean, we've had this discussion so many times, but it could literally be an AI generated video. All we saw is a video. If we're going into this like it could be fake, and we're not trusting the government, it could just be Trump made an AI generated video to scare some drug dealers. If we're going that direction.
That's actually what Venezuela is saying about it. Maduro is saying that it was AI generated. I mean, which again, I wouldn't put it. So here's the thing. No, I agree with you about Trump in that I think he's sincere. I thought he was sincere about the MS-13 being tattooed on Abrego's knuckles. He believed it, and I don't trust anybody around him. Stephen Miller, Marco Rubio. I mean, these are.
I trust Stephen Miller.
I mean.
Stephen Miller's like the number one. Yeah, he's the number one cause. He's like the one thing keeping this country from going anti-Semitic. He's
like, I was gonna say, wait, what? Wait, what now?
Like he's singularly focused on deporting people. Like he's singularly focused on executing on like the issue that got Trump elected.
Oh, he's being a good Jew, you mean?
Yeah,
he's doing what Jews should do.
He's absolutely servicing the administration to the highest capacity.
That's how he's fighting anti-Semitism.
Yes,
by being a good Jew, by not giving the Gentiles an excuse to hate Jews. You mean?
By not behaving subversively, by not trying to.
Gotcha. By not trying to extend the Zionist occupation government further into American life.
He actually never talks about Israel. Like, interestingly enough, he's like
that is interesting. Yeah.
He kind of knows that that's kind of a non-starter for his mission.
For those who don't know, he and my son had the same 4th grade teacher.
Yep.
Franklin Elementary School in Santa Monica. And that teacher decided to out Stephen Miller when he made it into the White House publicly. I think she went to the Hollywood Reporter and reported what a bad kid he was. Which was as much as I can't stand Stephen Miller. I mean, that was disgusting for a teacher to say to a news organization that you were a bad kid when you were in 4th grade. Anyway, Stephen Miller saving the world from anti-Semitism.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't see myself as being a contrarian. Like, I think it's the contrarian position to defend drug dealers and to oppose the administration on this.
I don't think I was just checking. I mean, because I get called a contrarian a lot, and I never am. I take positions I take because I believe in them. At least, at that moment, I do.
Yeah,
I can change my mind later, but I'm not a contrarian. Never have been. It's an insult, actually. No, I was just checking.
Oh, and
whether you were
contrarians, like. Michael Tracy. This is Michael Tracy's world, and we're just living in it.
My man.
Another thing Trump has been proven right on is that the Epstein hoax is just another Democrat hoax, and people should stop talking about it. And esteemed
more than that,
truth teller.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael wants blood, and I don't blame him. He wants accountability. He wants to. I think what he's mostly doing is trying to destroy for good reasons, destroy the credibility of all those who have propagated the Epstein hoax. And that is what it is now. And by the way, I think I can see it shifting. I can see people talking about it differently all of a sudden.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
What? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Before we go on to this, But the point of that about the empire coming, I know about the empire coming back is that the U.S. military is like executing on objectives that directly serve the interests of the American people. It's not, let's make Afghanistan safe for little girls. It's not, it's let's get rid of the crime in our streets and our cities. Let's deploy the National Guard to our own cities. Let's deport illegal immigrants and let's stop drugs from coming into our border. It's a localized concern. It's not a concern about the rest of the world. It's a concern about the interest of the mainland.
Right. I mean, I'm assuming he's not intending to land the Marines who are on those ships. First of all,
this is all. First of all, maritime.
First of all, they get their asses kicked if they do. Didn't everybody see the Chinese military parade? We are done if we ever even think about invading that country.
Well,
with our fat ass soldiers. I mean, I think there's a handful of Green Berets and maybe 20 or 30 Marines who are actually in shape. But the army infantry is not doing anything anytime soon. Trust me.
Here's the point though. The authoritarian regimes like to goose step and they like to march in time as a show of force.
I know,
but they often do that to compensate for the fact that they can't fight. So that might be what's going on.
They can fight. No, it's not about that. It's about equipment. And right, so the Chinese can do their amazing precision marching, but if they don't have the aircraft carriers, who cares? Right. Well, the thing is, they're building them. They're building them, and they have more aircraft carriers now than they did 5 years ago, and more long-range bombers than they did 5 years ago, and more everything than they had 5 years ago. And they have very, very, very high-tech stuff that the U.S. does not have, in particular drones, which they showed off. By the way, one of my favorite things is that, I hope people, we're digressing here, but we'll get back to the geopolitics in a second. Although this is sort of geopolitics. One of the most important underreported stories of the last year or so, you may have seen it, is the rise of the Chinese, what's it called, electric vehicle market.
Oh, but Chinese EVs,
But the rise that apparently, by every account, their cars, their EVs are better than Tesla.
No, Tesla is everything Elon Musk is trying to do. He's just trying to be the one company that is allowed to do a fraction of what China is doing in the United States. Yeah.
They're better and cheaper. And Americans will go there and they can't buy them and they'll freak out. I mean, it's so if they can crush Elon Musk and EVs, and given their population size and given the number of engineers that they produce every year in China and have been producing for decades, the number of they train people to be engineers. They'll identify kids who have mathematical aptitude early on and put them in a program to make them into engineers. They have more engineers per capita probably than any country on earth, except maybe India. Certainly more than we do. And then if you take into account that they have 1.8 billion people there, I don't know, but the number of engineers making stuff every day in China far outpaces the number that we have. So thank God, all of which is to say, thank God they are not an imperialist nation. China has never had an imperialist ideology that's had any purchase in their society. Thank God. The Japanese did to some extent, although the Japanese, all they ever wanted was Asia. Not all, but they wanted to control Asia. They had no designs on the rest of the world. But China, as far as I know, never had any grand global ambitions at all. The Belt and Road Initiative thing is purely economic. So I don't fear China at all. When I watch that military parade and I see these massive, scary looking weapons being trotted out by them, I have zero concern because they don't care about me. They don't want to control California. They don't want to invade Indiana. They want to be left alone because they were invaded over and over and over again, especially during their 100 years of shame. And that is their motivation, and I don't blame them one bit for it. But anyway, back to, we were finishing the Venezuela story, right? And what it means.
Yeah. But a lot of post-libertarians, people I really respect, and I kind of fall into that category, are saying that this is a contraction of the U.S. military, and it's the U.S. military serving American interests and serving the mainland. Yeah.
I mean, again, it's all about the ideology that's serving the policy. Mm-hmm. Always look to the ideology. What's the ideology that's making this happen, explaining it, causing it to happen? And I think in this case, it's not
Cracker. Yeah.
It's not what?
Cracker Barrel Americans want there to be less drugs, less crime, less illegal immigration. And that's what they care about.
Of course, that's the dumbest, stupidest way to do it, right? Like, that will do nothing to anybody. I mean, you understand that blowing up that boat won't help anybody, right? Not even slightly. I mean, you think drug dealers are going to get scared of smuggling now that 11 of them have been killed? Drug dealers are very famous for not caring about the danger in their business, right? They're very, very famous for pushing ahead and dealing drugs even when they get killed. Well, so this is really ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think the war can be won, and I think I'm encouraged by what Bukele has accomplished, and how I'm encouraged by what's happened in DC, that area by area places can be made safe. But I do think legalization, some sort of targeted drug legalization effort with the intention of defunding the cartels, should be part of this. That you have to look into that as part of a solution as well. I'm with you on that.
Okay.
But
good.
But I'm not encouraged by, you point out Portugal, but I'm not encouraged by how that's played out in the States with our culture. I'm not encouraged by San Francisco,
They
Seattle.
didn't do that
Portland.
in San Francisco. No, they made one corner in San Francisco sort of legal, but it's not even there. It's not legal. I mean,
Seattle, in Portland as well.
Like a block. It's not legal. It's not legal in those cities. Because they can't do that because the feds won't allow it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
and the states won't allow it either.
Mm-hmm.
It has not been tried here.
Yeah, it hasn't been tried.
It hasn't. By the way, it hasn't even been fully tried in Portugal, right? Even in Portugal, they're not fully legal. They just don't criminalize. They don't punish people for using or dealing for the most part. But no, it needs to be 100. It needs to be like lettuce.
The problem, it needs to
become 100% legal.
Yeah, I just don't trust the American left to execute on that. That's all. I think the American left.
No, there's not execution. No, they'll write a fucking law like they did in all the states about weed, which handed it over to corporations and also made it into a cash cow through taxation, right? For the states. That's why the states legalized weed, not because they're compassionate about stoners, but because they knew they could make fucking tons of money and fund their prison guards and their cops and everything, and their prison schools, which is what they are, which is in large part being funded by weed taxes. So anyway, no, it's all corrupt. That was progressives. Yeah. That was liberals doing that.
Yeah.
Who wrote the,
This is another anarchist dilemma, is that you end up raising taxes for the state by legalizing these drugs, and the state becomes more powerful. So
no. Make it lettuce. Like it should be. There should be no taxes on lettuce. There aren't any taxes on lettuce. Food is it's tax free, right?
Again,
you could just, and it takes no legislation. It takes the elimination of legislation. That's what I want. I want no legislation around drugs. Yeah. Just delete all of it. Why is that a problem?
I just don't trust him. I just don't trust American politicians yet to execute and get it right on this. That's all.
No, it's not about executing. That's about deleting the law. What do you mean? There's no I want no execution and no executions. And by the way, we've executed people for being drug dealers too, which is something that Trump wants, and which apparently Fox News wants, and apparently like the MAGA base wants to execute drug dealers like they do in the Philippines. And that's what Trump, he really admires that. He said that, and MAGA seems to really be into that. Just line him up. If a cop, and here's the thing, man, if a single police officer tells us that that guy's a drug dealer, he should shoot him in the head on the street in public. That is the Trump policy that he wants. That is the Fox News MAGA policy that they want. No shit. Am I exaggerating, everybody? Put it in the chat. Am I exaggerating that the MAGA base and Trump himself want the police to have the powers that they do in the Philippines, which is the power to judicially kill anybody they deem to be a drug dealer, not a murderer, not a rapist, not a pederast. No, a drug dealer, by the way, someone who's just selling drugs. They're the ones who should be, at any cop's discretion, assassinated, executed in public immediately. That's what Trump has said he wants. That's what goes on in the Philippines. And today, as I saw from the reaction to this Venezuelan mass murder, that's what much of the Republican Party wants. And Michael Weimer apparently is down with that.
Well, I just seen that it's worked. That's all. Is that it's a policy that's objectively worked.
Who was a hamina? What? Where has it worked? What? I have weed in my hand right now. What are you talking about? Like, it's not worked. There's more weed. There's more drugs. There's more. I did cocaine 2 weeks ago.
We don't have
everybody's.
We don't have the policy in San Francisco. You don't have. If you
wait, how is it? How has it worked? How has it worked? According to what metric?
If it was legal to execute drug dealers, if it was legal, if there were authoritarian measures like that, like there are in El Salvador.
Yeah, man, that'd be fun.
There's a huge decrease in crime. Like, it's overwhelmingly popular and it's overwhelmingly.
Oh, in El Salvador, is the evidence.
Yeah, and I think you had 12 days without a murder in DC. You had 12 days without a murder in DC. You had stop and frisk overturning New York City.
Yeah.
I think Duterte was pretty popular in the Philippines. I think Duterte actually.
Yeah. No, if you killed every person that any cop thought was a drug dealer, there would be no drug dealers left. That's true.
Yeah.
That crime would be eliminated. That's true. Yeah. That's true. Which is what, again, I've said this story many, many times. New York City, I lived there in the 90s when Giuliani was mayor, and he basically just locked up everybody that he suspected of being a drug dealer. And many of them were. Most were, and they're still in prison to this day, having been locked up, arrested in the 1990s, and many of them will never get it. They'll die there. The prison's filled up, but New York City, as I've said many times, was super safe and has been ever since then. And it's been kind of great to live in New York ever since Giuliani did that. But you could go a step further, Michael. You're right. And just just kill them instead of wasting resources on housing them and taking care of them and feeding them for the rest of their lives. Just fucking kill them like Duterte does. And because Duterte doesn't have the money to have 2.3 million prisoners, right? That's expensive. So killing them, one bullet is way cheaper. Now, again, this is where, man, it's amazing. The left is right.
How?
I do. Well, think about this. I do think, my brother, that if you and I were of a different skin tone, we would think a little differently about this. I mean, again, if you're you're giving cops that kind of discretion, right? You're making cops into executioners. So, because 50% of homicides are committed by brown-skinned men in this country, a cop, for good reason, rational reason, seeing a brown-skinned guy is going to suspect him as being much more likely of being a murderer. or a violent criminal than if they look like you and me. It's just statistically a fact. If I were a police officer, if my son were a police officer, I would tell him to think that way because it's just a fact. So, yeah, it's dangerous out there, especially if the cops can kill you on sight because they think you're a drug dealer. Man, I can't believe you would want that. Cops to have that kind of power.
Well, this instance is in international waters against an organization that's been deemed a terrorist organization. Now, I totally get the libertarian constitutional argument that if you have the power to name whoever you want to be a terrorist organization, then
guess who's
Democrats
next?
get in power. Yeah,
guess
Democrats
who's next?
get, but you
guys
just have to make sure.
Guys with podcasts who call themselves anarchists. That's who's next. I mean, it most certainly could be next.
Yeah.
We're have you not noticed we're radicals and dissidents, and we say things that the establishment doesn't like? Like if the establishment has the power to just do away with us and get away with it, why would they not? So why give them that power? This is like the oldest, best classical liberal civil libertarian argument there is. Well, you cannot give the state that power. If you give the state that power, it's going to eventually use it against you.
The state already had that power. That's all. The state has always had that power. That's the nature of the beast. It's always existed like that.
No, it has not had the legitimacy to carry out extrajudicial killings like bombing that little fishing boat off of the coast of Venezuela.
You're assuming it was a fishing boat. You're assuming Trump is lying.
It actually looked it looked more like that than a drug boat because I didn't see any drugs on the boat. Please, people, look at the video.
It's grainy footage. Like,
do you think they just take like 2 sacks? I saw 2 sacks on that boat. It would be packed. What are you talking about? If it's a drug smuggling boat taking drugs, they would go all the way from Venezuela to Miami with just like 2 sacks of cocaine. What? Unreal, bro. Unreal.
Again, I'm actually.
And also, have you tried cocaine? It's amazing. And we need that drug because it's hard to be an American. And I'm not kidding. Americans they report more aches and pains and more mental health issues, more anxiety and depression than almost any other country. Look it up, everybody. We need drugs. I'm not really kidding about that.
Well, we are the most overprescribed nation as well. That's something we're coming to terms with.
Because we've always been the most capitalist and imperialist nation too, simultaneously. And we've had this this culture that is like simultaneously highly repressive and Puritan and super hedonistic and liberatory, and it's just this constant warfare, and we have massive crime, and we have more guns than anybody else, and everybody's on the hustle, everybody's on the make, and the economy is declining. Your entire generation will never own a home. I mean, there are multiple reasons intrinsic in being an American, and I love this country in so many ways. But man, the anxiety it produces uniquely, there is a unique American anxiety built in from the beginning in the model of what America is that I think has created a lot of these. We have more murder, and it's not just because of the guns. It's because of mental health issues. So yeah, we need drugs, man. We need drugs. So let them come in. But mostly, guys, it's the black market that creates these killers in MS-13. And I don't even believe that Tren de Aragua is a thing, but at least not in the United States. But whatever. We know there are bad, murderous gangs that occupy that black market because it's a black market. Because legitimate businessmen can't enter it. So only the bad guys enter it. It's so basic. It's so basic. Donald Trump, listen to me, dude.
Well,
just listen. If you legalize drugs, Tren de Aragua, MS-13, all of your least favorite people in the world, the cartels in Mexico, disappear. They go away because there is no longer any profit motive for them. They lose all of their basic economic reason for entering this industry. Just legalize drugs, and the bad guys will disappear. Like alcohol. What happened to the mafia, the 1920s, the Jewish mafia, the Italian mafia? They disappeared in 1933 immediately. Roosevelt legalized alcohol. Poof. That portion of the mafia was gone. And the mafia basically ceased to be like a significant presence. There were remnants, I know, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Look at where John Gotti's headquarters was in Queens. He operated out of this little skanky little basement dudes club. Like, they had no money. They didn't control any industries. I mean, the mafia was destroyed in 1933 effectively by Roosevelt legalizing alcohol, because again, they no longer had the profit motive, because that price was no longer artificially inflated by prohibition. I mean, it's so basic, it's so simple, it's the most important, maybe the best, most life-saving argument that libertarians have ever made. Legalize drugs right now. Everything will be better.
On the cartels, I'm not sure about the Maduro connection, but the connection with Claudia Sheinbaum in Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and how
What about it?
Well, there were 34 assassinations in Mexico that year. That Mexico's government very transparently is controlled by the cartels. And
the federal government, I have not seen evidence of that. And I've only seen evidence of a few northern state governments having any significant cartel influence. Okay. If you go to Mexico, you'll immediately see that there are only certain specific regions of Mexico where the cartels are a thing. It's mostly the north, that's where most of those are the poorest regions of Mexico, and Michoacan. But like, I've hung out in Michoacan. It's not a thing, because the cartels don't care about you. But also, most of Mexico is cartel free. It's not Mexico City, which has 20 million people in it. It takes you like a half an hour to fly over that city. It's so big. It's not a thing. I mean, Mexico City is like a massive metropolis with huge, fancy, wealthy neighborhoods that are better, nicer than Beverly Hills. And I mean, they have a huge middle class, a huge upper class. It's like Oaxaca, full of artists. There's no cartel there. It's all overblown, bro, my friend.
Well, what about the assassinations though? Like literally every mayoral race, like of the last year,
in the states, yes, the north and the west. So if you go to the northern states and the upper Pacific Coast states, yes, the cartels are hella there, and yes, they control a bunch of the local politics there for sure. And yeah, if you run as a mayor, if you're a mayor in one of those towns and you're anti-cartel, they'll chop your head off. Yeah, they're evil, horrific people. Although there's even more complication there. The reason for that is they're part of an honor society, which a lot of Americans can't understand. And it's a long story, but yes, they do absolutely have a terrible influence and a lot of control over particular regions in Mexico. Mexico is very decentralized. It's more so than the US. The federal government has some power. Usually they just resort to sending in the army when they can't control things. Like Acapulco has like army patrols all day long. But like, it's not, no, the federal government, I've seen, it's possible. It's possible the cartels have some influence there, but I've never seen any evidence of that. It's possible.
How does Claudia Sheinbaum get into power?
She's Jewish. What do you mean? Why even ask?
Yeah. Okay. How does if Mexico is a democracy?
She's actually Jewish. Yeah.
And as you said, a nation with an honor society with machismo.
Well, the cartels. Well, the cartels are most certainly honor society. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A machismo aspect to their culture. 90%.
You got to a bunch of Mexico's fags, dude. It's a very modern, postmodern country. People don't understand. A bunch of Mexico looks like LA, and the people in it are like in LA. They speak Spanish.
Well,
the northern states and some of the southern states are very poor. You know.
Well, here's the thing:
a lot of indigenous people. but it's almost first world country in much of that country. Americans are so ignorant. If you went to these cities in Mexico, it's like, oh my God, this looks like Vancouver. I mean, it's like they're very, very developed, modern, wealthy, sophisticated. Anyway, cosmopolitan places. Anyway, go ahead.
If the rural areas of the United States were controlled by organized crime and were unable to...
Some parts, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes,
wouldn't that take out
a
lot of populist candidates like Trump's support? And wouldn't the cities be overrepresented in national elections if that were the case?
I'm missing your logic. I'm being stupid. It's my fault.
Yeah.
Do it again. Say it again.
Well, it's rural versus urban, and if the cartels can easily control the rural politics,
some, yes,
doesn't that get rid of opposition at a national level to a populist candidate that's tough on crime?
Oh, yeah, but that's a fraction of the population. Most of Mexico's urban. Mexico has huge. I mean, Mexico City alone, as I said, 20 million people. But then, there's multiple big cities. I think it's a majority urban population now. I'm pretty sure of that. The northern states and federal politics and national politics, I think they're probably less important, except for the cartel issue. I don't know. We don't know enough to go on about this. Let's see. Epstein.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's do
this. This is Michael Tracy's world. We're just living in it.
Oh boy, we're gonna have another fight, aren't we?
Well, no, we both agree that the Epstein case was a Democrat hoax. So.
Oh, we do now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't sure about that until recently. I didn't think you were sure at all.
Ever. I was sure. As soon as Trump said it's a Democrat hoax, I'm like, oh, it's a Democrat hoax now.
No. It's not a Democrat hoax. It's a bipartisan hoax for sure.
Well,
and it's primarily the responsibility of our friends on the right wing. I was about to say I know them better than you do.
It's the dissident right. It's the dissident right, not the ascendant right, not the people who, not Trump sycophants, the people who call Trump out and try to influence Trump, or the people who aren't overly pro-Trump and are willing to split with Trump. It's Thomas Massie. It's women. It's Nancy Mace and Marjorie Taylor Greene who are susceptible to Me Too stories. But
I mean, I've been resisting a lot for the last few weeks, naming names. Everybody that I'm thinking of and everybody that I'm concerned about here is a major player who has hundreds of thousands of followers on social media, whatever, podcasting, in our world. Everybody I'm thinking of is and can
we start with Massie though?
Who? Well, yeah,
Thomas Massie,
and some politicians too. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and the people I'm concerned about, and it's like in my mind, it's at least 10 I can think of immediately. They're left and right. I can think of people on the left and the right who do this. And these are people that I otherwise I cling to them like a life raft because they're the only people in our world who make any sense to me on every other issue, on almost every other issue, and are very good and often heroically good, like Thomas Massie.
Yeah, I used to say he was, and even the only good member of Congress. I used to say Massie's,
and Ro Khanna, even though he's a Democrat, he's by far the best Democrat. And we can talk to Ro Khanna, I mean, he's got, and he was great on COVID, or great on Wuhan, and great on many things. Pretty good on Palestine-ish, but whatever. These are the best we've got. And Massie's been fantastic. So today they held a press conference in which they allowed these absolute charlatans, frauds, and hoaxsters, the ringleaders of the great Epstein panic hysteria, to hold a press conference on the lawn of the Capitol, in which they just peddled lie after lie after lie after lie after lie after lie, all of which were made by women who were in their 20s when they met Jeffrey Epstein and are now claiming to be victims. all of whom have been orchestrated by this lawyer named Bradley Edwards. And if you just go to his damn website, Bradley Edwards law firm in Florida, I forget the name of it, but you can find it. The guy who orchestrated, I think is that right? Bradley Edwards? Yes. The name of the guy, the lawyer who ran this press conference with Khanna and Thomas Massie, very tragically, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's been so great on Israel lately. Again, these are the people like I depend on, we depend on. These are the only good, sane people who are making sense on a very, very important issues in Congress. On the left, breaking points. I've said this a couple times. They've been fantastic in the last couple of years, especially on Israel, but on a lot of issues. And I love that they're left and right. Sagar and Crystal Ball are like, they do have a really good tension there. So it's not just a propaganda thing. And Ryan Grimm does great work in general. Crucial. Like, they've been doing some of the best anti-war work there is out there. And they're very, very, very smart and very good journalists and solid. I could go on. There's more. I mean, just Dave Smith, who without Dave Smith, we're dead. He's Dave Smith. I just thought about this. Yeah, I think he is the most popular, truly anti-war, truly anti-imperialist public figure in American history. Like, Dave Smith has more people listening to him and watching him and agreeing with him than any anti-war, anti-imperialist figure, public figure in U.S. history. Is there some? I mean, he's got millions and millions and millions and millions of people, a significant chunk of the American population watch Dave Smith and agree with him. And I thank God, I can't believe it. I never thought I'd see the day. When he's on Rogan, he gets 10, 20 million people, and most of them agree with him. And Dave Smith by himself has changed. I've seen it change the discourse broadly. I see people, some of it veers into anti-Semitism, blah, blah, blah about Israel, but most of it's just a good, solid, visceral reaction to empire, to war, to Zionism. And Dave is more responsible for that than anybody else. And then he talks about this pedophile ring where they were raping children that was a Mossad operation. And he yells it. He shouts it. They stand on their toes about it. I mean, Daryl Cooper. These guys are friends of mine. Love Daryl. He was just on my show. Great guy. Great podcaster. Amazing podcaster. Who has also been heroic on Israel and Gaza. Daryl, I mean, I would say on the right, he's most responsible for spreading, for educating people about Zionism without being an anti-Semite. There's nothing anti-Semitic in anything Daryl has ever said or done. It's ridiculous to suggest otherwise, but he's taken the hammer to Zionism. And thank God a bunch of the right has listened to him. Some of them took it into an anti-Semitic direction, but that's Israel's problem. Or Israel's fault, because they're the ones saying we're doing this for Jews. We represent all Jews. Everything we do is for all Jews. Nonetheless, Daryl's done amazing work. He's also done great. He's started to do this great work on World War II and asking exactly the right questions, very heroically, taking more punishment than I've ever imagined for it, but continuing to do it. So again, these people are really important to me and my politics. And they're nonetheless, when they get up there and talk about this child rapist, international sex trafficking, it's all satanic too. Satanism gets imported into this, involving hundreds of the most powerful, famous men in the world and 1,000 or more children who were raped by these men, and it's all on camera, and the Mossad has it, and that's why everything every politician does in this country, especially when they support Israel, happens. It's all because of the sexual blackmail that Mossad is running, because Epstein had them fuck 5-year-olds. Now, Epstein has crazy, insane, extensive connections to the state of Israel, to the U.S. Intelligence community, they call it, to the Defense Department, for sure. So there's something very, very funky there. The Les Wexner stuff. Why did he have power of attorney? Why did Les Wexner buy him this house in Manhattan? It's the most expensive house in Manhattan. Sure. No, I have always thought that Jeffrey Epstein was mobbed up. Of course, he had to be at some, I mean, now that could just mean like they came to him and said, hey, Jeff, can you tell us about what Prince Andrew said about the Falklands War? You know, easily. And Jeffrey was like, sure, I'll tell you, Mr. Mossad guy, on the phone as I'm having sex with a 21-year-old or whatever it was. Sure, I can't imagine, I would be shocked if Jeffrey Epstein did not divulge some information about all the fancy people he was hanging out with to somebody who works for an intelligence agency. I mean, it would be crazy to me if that didn't happen. But again, the reason that everybody got so freaked out about this thing, and everybody's still getting freaked out about it, is he was allegedly a pedophile, which he never was. There was no evidence for that whatsoever. And that he was raping these women, which is what they were. Do you know that every one of Epstein's public accusers was over the age of 20? I mean, unbelievable. Anyway, Michael Tracy
was at the conference today, and I got shoved out for asking a question, basically saying
MTG had him thrown out, by the way. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, Ro Khanna sort of tried not to, but yeah, Massie was there. Yeah. So everybody go watch Tracy's reporting on this. It's chilling, stunning, horrifying, but also I think ultimately Tracy's going to win. And I think Tracy's career is going to take a big leap because of this, because he's right and he's on it. And I just want him to be more, as I said to him when he was on my show last week, I just want him to pull it together into more easily digestible form. So he's talking about writing a book. I think he should write like a short book on this, you know, like because in 50 pages, he can destroy the whole thing. It is so ridiculous how flimsy this whole thing has been built on. Like, it's the stuff that Ryan Dawson, Whitney Webb in particular are the major, what would you call it? Promulgators of the Epstein myth. Right. And so they need to be answering questions right now. Daryl less so. Daryl has said he only uses their work. He popularized their work. But Dawson and Whitney Webb are the main so-called researcher experts on the Epstein thing that have gotten so much. Their entire careers have been built on this, which is fine. But it's just that turns out it looks like it's a tower of myth. And so, and because I don't know those two directly, but I know hundreds of people who do know them. It's time. Tracy's been by himself on this. He's been trying to pressure them to talk to him, and they won't do it really. And so we need to like have all these people. Yeah. Ryan Dawson, Whitney Webb, Daryl Cooper, Dave Smith. Who else? I mean, all the people have been pushing the Epstein myth for about 10 years now need to be answering Tracy's questions, because we know they're wrong. We know they were wrong. We know they've been peddling a hoax, a myth, a hysteria. They've been doing precisely to the right wing what the BLM and Me Too crazies were doing to the left 10 years ago. I witnessed both firsthand. I've seen both firsthand. I was right there on campus when they were causing this hysteria about racism on campus and sexual assault on campus. And then Me Too came out of that. I was right in the middle of it. I had multiple people who I knew who were victims of that, the Me Too thing, and the BLM and the race craziness, hysteria. And then because I have connections to the left and the right, I have seen, and I've experienced it myself. the exact same thing on the right in the last 5 years, really. This pedophile hysteria. It is so stupid, so dumb, so wrong, and it has been so destructive of so many things. We need, meaning I'm talking about the broad dissident world, left and right. We need to come to terms with this because people's credibility is going down the tubes. Breaking Point's just they just showed a video of one of Epstein's survivor victim accusers just last week, I think. This woman was in her 20s when she met him. She was a sex worker escort. And she testified in court that Epstein gave her an orgasm with a vibrator. Like, Sarah Ransom. Look it up, guys. And she's one of the major accusers. It is, people look at Tracy's work and just Google the names I've given you. Virginia Giuffre. Proven, as Tracy calls her, serial fabulist who made up all this stuff about Alan Dershowitz raping her and Prince Andrew raping her and Steven Pinker raping her and Bill Clinton raping her. She was forced to retract all of that. All of it. In court. Formally. Legally. She retracted that. Anyway, it goes on and on and on and on. Tracy's losing his mind because he's the only one dealing with this. So everybody support him, or at least go read the stuff, go to his Substack, watch his podcast. It's not that much. It's about an hour of work. You'll get up to speed pretty quickly. You'll see right away. This is a massive fraud that has engendered an hysteria. First on the right, now it's on the left because, of course, right, originally it served the right wing's interest because we thought it was all Democrats who were fucking the children on Epstein Island. But now it turns out now it's like, oh my God, Trump is the guy who was fucking children on Epstein Island and all of his friends in the right wing. So now the left is all about it and the right wing is poo-pooing it, which also shows that none of these people really care about fucking children or pedophilia or any of it. Because if you actually cared about that and you actually believe that children were being raped on Epstein Island, it wouldn't matter who was the president at the moment or whose party was better represented on the island.
Well,
anyway, the whole thing is Meanwhile, there were 3 guys in Alabama a month ago who were found with, I think it was more than 10 children. I think half of whom were under the age of 10. Some were 3 who were literally chained to the wall and were being raped for money by any guy in town who wanted to fuck an actual baby. And their own mothers were involved, were selling the kids. So guys, that's pedophilia. That's pederasty. Those guys, they should be in prison. Yeah. Or if you want to put a bullet in their head, that's fine with me too. That's really pedophilia, pederasty, child rape. Bill Clinton didn't rape any child. Bill Gates didn't rape any fucking child. Grow up. I mean, go move to a city, get some exposure to other people. I don't understand. The alt-right is so dumb and childish, and that's why they've latched onto this pedophilia hysteria. I'm done. Sorry. Go ahead. You have the floor.
Again, if you're browsing X today, I think this is the day where everybody who supports Trump is done with Epstein.
Good.
Like, yeah.
Right. It's no longer useful for them.
I've seen
cynics. My God.
Dozens of accounts go, I put up or shut up on this. The big thing was these purported survivors and victims are saying, you know what? We're going to release our own list. We're going to compile our own list, and just you wait. We're going to release it. And everybody's like, well, here you have a bunch of congressmen behind you, congress people behind you, and you've got the floor and you've got all the national attention you could ever want. Why not name names now? Why not name a name now? And they don't.
I forgot to mention that every single survivor who testified today at the press conference is a millionaire.
And met Epstein after they were 18.
And were adults. Virginia Giuffre, who is the main, I mean, she's like 80% of the accusations. She killed herself last year, I think. She estimated took in $30 million in settlements from Epstein, Maxwell, and Prince Andrew. Made up everything. She made up everything.
Yeah. And you have Nancy Mace right now on her Twitter calling for Prince Andrew to be thrown in a cell.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, it's
Nancy
you can't
Mace,
let these people. But if you've been following this story, it was Trump who arrested Epstein in the first place. The reason why Epstein is purportedly dead is because he was in a federal prison. Trump was president, and he was in a federal prison under Trump's watch.
Wow.
Yeah. So Trump is the guy that got any justice that ever was handed to Epstein or Maxwell. It's because of Trump. And
here's what I think. And this is like, I think I can see like very smart people who are sort of around this, like Ross Douthat. He and I kind of like, and I really respect him. He's the only person at the Times I respect. And we have totally different politics. So like, that's another reason. Like he and I were at the same place with Epstein about 6 months ago, which was like, yeah, man, it sure looks like Mossad was in this shit. And like, looks like there was at least some underage something that they were using for blackmail. And Mossad has a history of blackmail, and it's very plausible. And now it's like, we know the pedo sex ring thing wasn't a thing. The Mossad connections, the Israel connections, still, that deserves much more scrutiny. We need to look into that. There's clearly something going on there. Ehud Barak is literally staying at his house. Something. Would Mossad run an operation in which they had the former prime minister go to their agent's house? You know, I doubt that. So it's probably not that. So the consensus, I can see, not a consensus, but I can see like the smartest people in this world coming together around a consensus, which is this: Epstein was a money guy for Israel, for Mossad, because they have to do a bunch of, and I've heard like pro-Israel people talk about this. Every intelligence agency, Mossad and CIA, all of them have to do, and even like the Turkish intelligence agency, they all have to do money laundering to do their operation, because they got to pay people on the ground to do stuff, right? And they can't be found out, and so they have to launder it through various means. And the Epstein was very likely that guy, and he skimmed, or he just took as a deal, like, you're going to buy me a house in New Mexico and a house in Manhattan, etc., and a plane. I don't know. I mean, the level of the wealth is still hard to explain, but I do think that's the most likely explanation. I can say that I have seen many people, very, very, who I respect, who are intelligent in this world, who are not even anti-Israel, start to come to that conclusion about what Epstein was about. Not Tracy, by the way. Tracy's not interested in that. He's interested in destroying everybody who's propagated the bullshit hoaxes about it.
He's into gatekeeping journalistic standards. That's Tracy's main.
And he's the only one. And he's the only person in our world who's done this, which is why he's been on my show 20 times. And I will continue, even though Tracy drives me insane as a person often. I will always have him on my show, and I will always support his work, because thank God for Michael Tracy. 10 minutes to go. What do you want to do?
The thing about Epstein is that Trump is totally vindicated on it, I think. And I wanted to talk about Massie.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but yeah, okay. I mean,
but no.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Right? He said the files are total bullshit. There's nothing credible in here. It's a total innuendo.
I mean, wait. Totally vindicated? Wasn't Trump the guy who was promising as part of his campaign to release the files? Yes.
Not him. Grifters attached to his campain were.
Trump
and
never
media
said that?
Figures asked him about it. He said, "Oh, it might be interesting to look into." That's all he said. When provoked and asked, yeah, he really didn't say much about it, the Epstein thing. Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, J.D. Vance was a little bit more cavalier about it, but Trump himself never really was that interested in this.
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was also, we'll look into it, and if there's something there, we'll release it. And yeah.
I think we need a name for it. It's like the pedophile hysteria industrial complex. Pike? No, we need a better one. We need an acronym. Someone please in the chat come up. It's the hierarchic libs of TikTok. Her, she's the primary culprit. I mean, without her, the Epstein thing has way less juice.
Well,
she is a major part of this whole thing.
If you remember the 4chan release where they released all the data about who was posting from 4chan, it was like 50% coming out of Israel. And so if you want to go
really
keep
that's according to whom? That sounds a little fishy. I don't
know. There was some giant release on this. Yeah, but
so by the way, Ian, speaking of like anti-Israel anti-Semites, Ian Carroll, by the way, Tracy has just blown up his credibility. Ian Carroll, watch Tracy's Twitter today. Ian Carroll is done. He should be done. His credibility is toast now. Thank God, because he was an actual anti-Semite who was in our movement to free Palestine. And unfortunately, a bunch of true anti-Semites with that as their motivation came into the movement. And that's a big part of the Epstein story too, is that the Epstein story was where the anti-Zionists, who also were kind of anti-Semitic, congregated. I noticed this. People with not exactly the right argument about Israel would hang out in the Epstein space a lot. Meaning the people who would often talk about the global conspiracy, and they would conflate Israel with Jews and Zionists with Jews, right? Even though I agreed with them on the war and I agreed with them on Zionism, I suppose. No, these were the people who hung out in the Epstein space. Sorry to say, but that's what I saw. Is that fair to say?
I don't. Well, I will say Ryan Dawson rubs me the wrong way on this.
Always.
There's things he's posted that I'm like, that he's posted some AI generated things where it's like, if you're gonna share caricatures of Jewish people, draw them yourself. Don't ask a computer to come up with them. That's my opinion.
You're mad at, he's a lazy anti-Semite. That's your problem with him.
No, it's just I don't like using AI to go there. It's you're asking another mind to think up something racist, and I want it to be authentic and from yourself, or at least from a human being. You want
racists to be like creative, original, authentic. Really
I want
heart in it
to be original and authentic. I don't want them outsourcing their work to machines. I'm pro-human. I don't want machines hating racist people.
I mean, I actually do too. No, I want racists to be. Well, I mean, I want racists to give me their best argument, and I mean that. And I'm waiting. I'm looking. Have a couple candidates. Just look at the racists.
It's an undefeated argument. Yeah, just look at them.
Because that's what they say. Just look at them. Just look at them. Just look at the blacks. You can see.
Well, but no, I want to talk about this in relation to Thomas Massie and
Jesus,
a lot of
disappointment.
Again, a lot of post-libertarians, a lot of people who came from the libertarian space say, I agree with Thomas Massie on everything. Thomas Massie's the only good guy in Congress. He's standing up to everybody. He was heroic on the CARES Act. Are now calling him an obstructionist. They're now calling him a grifter. They're calling him a Democratic operative because him being so adamant on the Epstein case, for example, all it is doing is aligning himself with Democrats, counter-signaling the Trump administration, and throwing sand in the gears of what Trump is trying to accomplish. And this is why some people from the post-libertarian space say, I'd rather have a Lindsey Graham in Congress who knows how to play the game and supports President Trump when it matters than a grandstanding Thomas Massie. And I'm just... documenting that.
Do they?
That's an
Don't they
evolution
know
of
that?
things.
Don't they know that Lindsay likes dick? Which
I
is
think
that sin. That's the chief sin for these people.
So we talked about murder being like what the state does, and if you talking about what the state does, you have to accept murder. Homosexuality, you have to accept that in Washington D.C. That's, I mean, I'd like it to be eradicated, but that's anybody who's in Washington D.C.
Homosexuality. I thought you were going to do the pedophile thing, but which is a small subset of the homosexual scene for sure. Let's not. I'm not denying that, but no, I've lived in DC. I've been around. I worked on Capitol Hill. Yeah, no, it's not a huge thing, but it's a very gay city. DC, and I know because I've lived in San Francisco, New York, LA. DC is the second gayest city in the country after SF. It's very gay. Yeah.
There are people who track military activity by tracking gay bar activities.
But what does that mean, though? You know, I used to hang out. Actually, I hung out in gay and lesbian bars for a minute in DC back in the 80s. Not because I was gay, but anyway. No, I've actually literally. They
are great places to pick up chicks.
my friend, it's actually mostly my roommate was a lesbian, and so we would hang out in lesbian bars. It was hilarious in DC. I have stories about that I could tell. But why? Why do you think though? I actually don't know why.
Why is DC gay?
Why? Well, federal government. Why government is so full of gays?
Because government is evil and homosexuality is evil.
Okay, cool. All right.
Do you have a better hypothesis?
Well, no, my feeling is I'm just disappointed because I love my gays. And why would you go into the government unless you're actually evil, like my friend Michael, the German, thinks? I don't know. I don't know. I'm split on. I don't really know. Why is it that gays go into government? I know. And by the way, I know of state level. I know some state level gays too, personally, who are in the state. It's a thing. You're right. They're just disproportionately represented.
Yes, true. And this is the thing within the Republican Party as well, is that a lot of the best Republican organizers are gay, and if the Republican Party is going to purge their membership of that element, they're going to lose a lot of power.
But the gays are not the politicians themselves; they're the staffers.
The staffers. Well, I mean, this is like eternal theater kid thing. It's a theater kid.
Well, it's also service. It's a feminine thing. Serving the leader, serving your political leader.
Well, yeah, and I mean,
so this is your reason to be anti-gay or to be anti-state?
I mean,
for me, it's a reason to be anti-state, not anti-gay.
Okay.
The reason the state is evil because it's staffed by gays. Is that your thesis?
No, they're
attracted to it because it's evil.
They're both evil,
right? And so they come together, two Satans, two Lucifers.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That tracks. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. But. So, okay, this is the thing I wanted to transition to. The other crusade that Michael Tracey has been on, and this is aligned with homosexuality. And
this is the only crusade Tracey's been on for.
Well, this is a side project for the last week, but
shampooing,
demons,
not shampooing.
How the right is always talking about demons.
Nothing would advance Michael Tracey's career more than some good shampoo. Go ahead. Sorry, what?
Yeah. Well, Tracey, for some, he looks unkempt, but I think he just needs to dry his hair after he showers. I think he takes showers. I think he needs to.
And I want to say this: the only reason I take those shots at Tracey is because Tracey doesn't care at all.
Yeah,
he doesn't. He needs to be told this, and he doesn't care. He's just oblivious. He just doesn't care. So I will continually tell Tracey to take a shower. Go ahead. So
demons.
Demons. Satan.
Yes, Michael Tracey is laughing at everybody who talks about demons entering our polity.
See?
And this came after the trans shooter in Minnesota had a diary in which the shooter drew himself looking into a mirror and having a demon look back, and
Drew herself.
Herself. Yeah. I mean, if you want to, yeah.
Okay, so we've had two of our shooters, two of our mass shooters have been trans, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about demons, but yes. But
okay.
both,
We're on the demon issue. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Trans or demons?
Yeah.
What are you getting
at? That assuming that there's a spiritual level to the political world, that there's a spiritual world operating in our world is stupid. It drags us down. It should be ignored out of hand. If people talk about our politicians being demonic or our shooters being demonic, it's just not material. It's not real. It's a sign of dumbing down our discourse. I care about journalistic standards. This is Mike Tracy talking, and anybody who talks about demons like Tucker Carlson every other week is lowering the journalistic standards and feeding people poison.
Correct. You have a rebuttal?
And I have a rebuttal in that you had a shooter who literally shot up a church, portrayed themselves as a demon in their own writings, and talked about having dissociative experiences where they didn't even feel in control of their own actions in their diary. That
rock.
And Les Wexner in the 1985 interview talked about having a demon, Dybbuk, be responsible for his like waking him up every morning and helping him with business decisions. So I think if the spiritual world, if these people like Les Wexner and the trans shooter are openly themselves talking about a demonic influence in what they do, shouldn't that be of journalistic inquiry and interest?
Wait, I'm sorry. Who said they're demonic?
The trans shooter in her diary, his diary.
Okay, gotcha.
And Les Wexner in the 1985 interview talked about having a Dybbuk, this Jewish demon, a Dybbuk, who wakes him up and helps him with business decisions, that he sort of surrenders his will to this demon. And there have been...
he's definitely a pedophile then, for sure.
Yeah.
So Dybbuk is a thing. Dybbuk is a thing in Jewish culture. It's like the devil on my shoulder kind of thing. Right? Christians talk that way too. This is where there's a little bit of anti-Semitic trope like seeping in. I'm not seeping in here.
Okay. Help me to understand this culture where demons talk to you and lead your business decisions.
Devil on my shoulder tells me one thing. I mean, are you kidding me? How many Christians have said that?
Yeah, but
the devil speaks to me. The devil speaks to me. Hello, what? Christians say that.
But, okay.
So Michael Weimer, in the last 10 years, there have been at least minimum 500 mass shooters in the United States. 10 years.
I mean,
500.
Those sound like CNN statistics. Like,
wait, you don't believe that? You've been around. You've been here. What are you talking about? Every year we have multiple. What are you talking about?
I mean, those are like CNN statistics to take your guns away.
Okay.
Those are
the gang. So the gang shootings, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So subtract those. How many do you think there have been? You're right. They don't disaggregate those, and they should. You're right. But how many? Every year there are multiple. Am I wrong? In your adult lifetime, as short as it is, how many mass shooters have there been per year, bro? Come on. Like multiple.
3 or 4 max per year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking at least 30
of the incidents that we're talking about. But
how about Vegas alone was how many people? Was he trans?
No, that's
and he was Venezuelan too, I heard.
Yeah. There's a Saudi. Well, here's the thing. We're talking about the explicit motives outlined by the shooter themselves.
Are trans people are trans people disproportionately mentally disturbed? Fuck yes.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say there's 2 out of
Yes.
the at least 30
Mhm.
mass recent. Come on, there's more than that. At least. So what's the percentage there? I don't know.
So
They're a little bit but I'm not surprised. But that's
I mean,
2, bro.
how much of the
That's 2.
population do they make up? How much of the population do they make up? We're talking per capita here.
Can we talk about the number of
But
mass shooters who were Christian or were members of the military? Members of the military.
Yeah.
Ex-military.
Yeah.
How many? More than 2.
Yeah.
How many Christians? How many born and raised in a church, Christian church, who professed an allegiance to Jesus Christ, a devotion to Jesus Christ? More than 2. More than 2. Oh, by the way, how many of them were straight white men? See, you don't want to do this, man. How many were straight white men?
I think if you go in per capita,
98%.
Now, I mean, I think if you're motivated by racial hatred, you'll point out straight white men. But if you look into per capita,
2 trans people. 2.
Yeah.
2 of all the mass shooters. It's America's favorite pastime is shooting crowds of people. Okay, only 2 is it not? 2 trans people have been responsible out of all those. I believe all those Christians and ex-Marines.
All right,
who have done the mass shootings.
I did recently just ban somebody from the chat who, despite having a super cool Joker profile pic. You know, when somebody makes their profile pic the Joker, you're like, whoa, this is a badass. I should really look out. This guy is a renegade. He really plays by his own rules here. But
truth tellers too. Always the
truth teller. Always, and always misunderstood the
what was
Joker
he saying?
Profile pic. Free Luigi. He was a pro Luigi guy, saying that Luigi is the real left and all that.
Right.
But how many times have you seen? I mean, what was it? Is it the governor of Michigan? But you know, these shirts that say "Protect Trans Kids" and they have a knife. But there's the 09A cult. Adam Lehrer has done good writing on this.
Okay.
But haven't you noticed that? I mean, I wasn't pointing out the trans thing. I was talking about demons. I was talking about demons.
What's the difference?
Yeah, no, for real. What's the yeah? But and then another pivot on this is the SSRI thing. So you have RFK Jr. Leading studies about the connections between SSRIs and mass shootings, and what I'm getting at is
what?
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. I was on SSRIs for about 5 years. It's a while ago. Good 5 years every day. Lexapro. There was another one. Forget it. But yeah, I was on SSRIs every single day for about 5 years. This is about a decade ago, but I didn't notice. My wife said that I was more calm. I didn't notice. This is another alt-right hysteria. Sorry. I'm not for SSRIs. I think they're bullshit. I just don't think they do much. But they don't cause people to shoot into crowds of children. They just don't. These are people. I've known some trans people who were clearly, obviously, mentally highly disturbed. And I know that many of them simply are that. Some are not. Some are just fine. Will never kill anybody. But many are. And it makes some sense. Right? If you feel some internal turmoil on that level, it could easily go into gender dysphoria and those kinds of things. We got two. If it becomes, yes, I agree with you that the trans movement was hideous, and absolutely, here's I'm agreeing with you. The trans, and I'm agreeing with you in I think the
and
most
it's becoming increasingly violent.
Oh my God, the trans movement. No,
explicitly.
Oh no, they absolutely, explicitly, clearly encouraged violence against transphobes for sure. And if you look at, and I can't stand this woman, but what's her face in England, the big anti-trans woman there, Kelly something, she goes by Parker Posey. Anyway, her, every time she gives a speech somewhere, there's like a bunch of dudes in dresses trying to beat her up. And they're proud of it too. Absolutely. The trans movement was a hideous monstrosity that not only absolutely violated the whole original idea about gender being a social construct, they weaponized it quite literally, actually, and made it into a violent, aggressive, imperialist movement that had no base of support, no popular support. And that's why it's been destroyed and crushed. And I think within, already you're seeing it, right? Even in Berkeley, like 5 years ago, which was Berkeley is the world capital of trans, for those who don't know. 5 years ago, when I moved back here, I was shocked and horrified and depressed and felt really, really isolated, because I'm not kidding you, like 1 out of 5 people on the street, something like that, were trans. When I would go to Trader Joe's, I'm not kidding you, like, yeah, about 1 out of 5 of the workers, the cashiers, were trans. It was everywhere all the time. And now, even in Berkeley, they're still there, but it's just not the same. The pronoun usage nonsense almost disappeared. Like, that's not non-issue now. I don't even see that anymore. I personally know several people, because I live in the Bay Area, because if you live in the Bay Area, you will know trans people or people who think they're trans. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they were talking a big game about, I'm non-binary, I don't use pronouns, and call me this and that. And they don't talk that way anymore. It's defeated. We're done with it. Get over it. Honestly, they're done. It's toast. Thank God. Can we get back to like gender being a social construct though? Not now, but I mean, like, as a society, that's a very important insight that the trans movement destroyed.
Right. Yeah. I think we tried gender being a social construct and it didn't work out. But
all right.
So
over time.
You're anti-demons though. You're anti talking about a spiritual component to the physical world.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What about it? You don't like it?
Yeah. Even when But
am I wrong? How do you know you're right? Am I wrong? Prove it, Christian.
Yeah. Well,
prove that I'm wrong. What do you mean? What is the value of identifying your enemies as demons? Like, I know they're my enemies. I don't need to make them into supernatural things.
It's not that
I don't like them. They're dangerous. Like, serial killers and mass shooters and pedophiles and who can't control themselves and rapists. No, I want to either kill them or put them in prison forever. I don't need to make them into demons. Why do you have to do this?
It's not that they're demons, is that there are demons out there and they are oppressing these people.
They're oppressing who? Which people? Ted Bundy? What do you mean?
Yeah, Ted Bundy. Yeah.
Oh, he's been oppressed by Satan, and that's why Ted Bundy killed all those hitchhikers. Like, I'm not fun. And why do we need this? What do you gain from that?
A better understanding of how evil works. So do you avoid pornography? Avoid pornography. Avoid drugs. Avoid dissociative drugs like weed and SSRIs.
Oh my God, dude! I have nothing to live for anymore. You can't do this to me.
Mm-hmm.
This is what has made me into a serial killer. All those things. Why would you take that from me? Ted Bundy had no access to online pornorography. It didn't exist then. I don't think
Ted Bundy. I'm not talking about online pornography. I think Ted Bundy was it. Ted Bundy. Which one was it? One of those serial killers talked about on his deathbed that it was an escalating. It was an escalating track
Jeffrey Dahmer
of evil.
Drank Budweiser.
Jeffrey Dahmer. It might have been
drank Budweiser. He drank Budweiser. He didn't do drugs. They don't do drugs. The serial killers don't do drugs. You know what they do? They kill people because that's their drug. They enjoy killing people. These are actual true sadists. There are unfortunately a small portion of the population that's always existed that actually enjoy, they get a physical rush from killing and hurting and harming other people. Thank God it's like less than 1% of the population. But that's the thing. They've been Jack the Ripper. The problem was he was doing crack. That's why he was watching porn. No, what? We're gonna have a struggle session.
Yeah,
and we're gonna put it on Substack. Only paid subscribers can watch it. I'm gonna talk to Michael. We're gonna do 3 hours. You got 3 hours tonight, tomorrow. We're gonna bring your family in. Girlfriend's gonna testify. We're gonna do a whole thing. We have to have a session with you. You've gone off the rails. Still love you. That's why I'm having a struggle session with you, because I care about you and I love you. Okay. But this has really gone too far, Michael. We're gonna have to have a talk. Okay. Your mom, we've been talking. It's fine. Your mom's will be there. Your dad's a little pissed about it, but he's going along with it. Okay, tomorrow, 2:00 Eastern. What? We'll do it by Zoom. It's fine. You want to do it in purpose? Okay.
I can identify as a goblin. That is. I've tried to understand what the chat thinks I think.
We gotta go.
That's all the thing. I'm trying to understand what the chat thinks I think. I'm just talking.
The thing about the chat is that they're always right.
Yeah.
I've noticed this, like comments on YouTube. I'm like, wow. Yeah. I never thought about that before. And then, especially, damn, like I've changed my whole worldview when I read YouTube comments. Same with, here comments.
Especially when somebody uses a Joker profile pic. When any of my friends starts changing their profile pic on social media to the Joker, I'm like, oh, this guy's going up in life. This guy's going places.
That's when I know that I'm wrong. That's when I see that my critic is a Joker. I know that I'm wrong. It's devastating.
It's almost like the Joker is an immaterial being that represents something on another dimension.
Michael, I gotta go. I have to go to the bathroom. We gotta go. The after show, which starts after I go to the bathroom. This is the oldest of the G's. This is the oldest of the gangsters. After show Wednesday nights. Michael, we're done. Got to put the link up. So
demon time, as oh my God, here it is. As some people say.
So
this is when we're on demon time, as the kids say.
So if you want the link to the after show, an institution around here for now, it's like 6 years. We've been doing this every week. It's awesome. We hang out. All you got to do is become a Substack subscriber. Click on that link. Do it. We'll see you there. Unless you have a Joker profile image, we have a screening device to keep you. Otherwise,
that's just because we're jealous, though, because the Joker thing is super cool and it makes us really insecure that we have somebody who's so cool and badass with a Joker profile. Like,
precisely.
That's so. Yeah,
you are the man.
I bet he laughs. He laughs to himself all the time maniacally. I'm like, ooh, what's fucked up, twisted things are going on in his head? I'd like to.
And the thing is, chicks love that. Chicks love it when you laugh like the Joker. It's just I've seen the panties drop. Anyway, gotta go. Peace.
Got a tattoo ha 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 all over your arm. That's super cool too.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.